Tell me, why do so many of us settle for being ordinary when greatness is already inside us? Why do we let fear, doubt, or the opinions of others dim the light that was born to shine? If you are truly ready to step into your power, to command your life with confidence and grace, then it's time to rise. It's time to act like the queen you were always meant to be. Are you ready to claim it? By the end of this message, you will not only see the queen within you, but you will know exactly how to step into her power, embrace her authority, and walk boldly into the life you were born to lead. Wisdom, strength, and sovereignty are no longer optional. They are your destiny. 1. Own your worth. Pause. Take a moment and feel the weight of those words, your worth. Have you ever truly considered what that means? Not what society tells you, not what others expect, but the quiet, undeniable truth that pulses within your own heart. Every being on this earth carries a value that is unearned and yet immeasurable. And yet, so often, you have allowed your light to be diminished because someone else decided your reflection didn't belong in their mirror. Owning your worth begins with recognition. Seeing yourself as more than circumstance, more than mistakes, more than fleeting opinions. A queen does not need validation from the outside world to affirm her value. She sits in her own presence and feels the crown she has always worn, even if no one else notices it. It is not arrogance, it is awareness. To own your worth, you must first silence the voices that whisper inadequacy. They are not your truth. They are echoes of fear, passed down, carried by the wind, meant to keep you small. Each time you honor yourself, each time you recognize your strengths and accept your flaws without judgment, you are reclaiming fragments of your soul that were quietly surrendered. There is a discipline here, a sacred practice of reflection and acknowledgement. Each morning, affirm your value in ways that resonate with your spirit. Speak to yourself as you would to the one you love most. Protect your energy from those who attempt to devalue you. A queen guards her worth as fiercely as she guards her throne. And nothing outside of her will dictate the power she already possesses. Owning your worth is not a single moment. It is a continuous practice. It is the quiet strength that hums beneath your chest when the world expects you to shrink. It is the courage to say no without guilt. It is the unwavering confidence that you are enough and more than enough, exactly as you are. And as you sit with this truth, you begin to realize something profound. The world begins to shift around you. Doors that once seemed closed begin to whisper open. Opportunities that seem distant suddenly approach with a sense of inevitability. When you own your worth, you do not beg for respect, you naturally draw it. And yet knowing your value is only the first step. To command respect, to truly step into your sovereign presence, you must learn the language of influence. You must understand the subtle power of presence, of words, of action. Because worth without recognition is like a flame hidden in a cave. It shines, but no one sees it. There is a force waiting to be claimed, a recognition that will follow naturally when you begin to embody the energy of your own value. And the moment you step into that energy, you will understand the power of silent authority, the kind that does not need to shout, the kind that does not bend to opinion, the kind that makes the world pause and take notice. Pause, breathe, let the truth sink in, and then step forward. Because the next step, the next layer of power, is to command respect, and this is where your journey transforms from personal recognition into the external force of influence. 2. Command respect. Respect is not given lightly. It is earned not through dominance, but through alignment with your integrity, with your actions, with the resonance of your presence. The queen does not demand it through fear. She does not beg for it through flattery. Respect is her shadow. It follows her wherever she walks, not because others are forced to bow, but because they recognize the authority of her being. To command respect, begin with presence. Notice how you move, how you speak, how you inhabit your own space. The energy you carry is louder than your words, more persuasive than your arguments. The way you hold yourself, even in silence, communicates to the world your self-regard, your self-possession. People respond to energy first, they rationalize later. A queen understands boundaries, not just as limits, but as sacred lines that define what is acceptable in her life and what is not. She does not apologize for her limits. She does not negotiate her dignity for comfort. Respect is a reflection of how firmly you uphold your own principles. Every action, every choice, every response is a silent message. This is who I am, and I will not be diminished. Commanding respect also requires mastery over your emotions. In moments of provocation, a queen does not react with chaos. She does not surrender to impulse. Instead, she engages with a quiet, steady authority. There is power in measured words, in controlled energy, in the ability to maintain composure when others are unraveling. When you can remain anchored in your truth while the war rages, people begin to recognize the force of your sovereignty. And there is another layer here, subtle but crucial. Respect grows from integrity. Your actions must align with your words. Promises kept, boundaries honored, truths spoken without compromise. These are the bricks of your reputation. The world sees this alignment and instinctively offers respect, not out of obligation, but because it cannot help itself. Respect, however, is not a final destination. It is a reflection of the energy you carry in the moment. Every day, every choice, every interaction, you must continue to cultivate it. Because without respect, power becomes brittle, influence becomes fragile. The queen's presence must be consistent, unwavering, undeniable, and yet commanding respect is only part of the equation. Presence alone cannot sustain your power if your mind is scattered, if your vision is unclear, if your thoughts betray doubt. True influence emerges when your mental landscape is disciplined, when your thoughts are clear, when your inner world mirrors the strength you project outward. The mind is the engine of your sovereignty. Without mastery of your thoughts, without clarity of purpose, the crown you wear can feel heavy, even precarious. The queen's next step is not to accumulate wealth or status or followers. It is to cultivate the ultimate tool of power, the mind. The journey from respect to mastery is subtle, profound, and transformative. 3. Master your mindset, the mind. This is where everything begins and ends. Your reality is shaped by the architecture of your thoughts, the narratives you choose to believe, the limits you impose on yourself unconsciously. A queen knows that to master her kingdom, she must first master her own mind. Without control over her inner landscape, all external power becomes fragile, all influence becomes conditional. Mastering your mindset begins with awareness. Observe your thoughts as if they are clouds passing across the sky. Do not attach, do not judge, simply notice. Which thoughts empower you? Which thoughts diminish you? Which beliefs are inherited, unchallenged, untested, yet secretly ruling your decisions? Awareness is the first A. CT of sovereignty. You cannot rule what you do not see. The next layer is choice. Every thought you entertain is a choice, even when it feels automatic. You can choose which thoughts to cultivate, which narratives to reinforce, which beliefs to let go of. This is not merely positive thinking. It is strategic, intentional, sacred. A queen does not allow the noise of the world to dictate her inner dialogue. She curates it, she guards it, she aligns it with her highest vision. Mastering your mindset also requires resilience. Thoughts will arise that challenge your vision, that whisper fear, doubt, or limitation. The queen does not run from these thoughts, nor does she surrender to them. She confronts them, transforms them, and uses them as fuel. Adversity in thought becomes the forge where mental strength is tempered. And there is power in visualization. A queen imagines the life she desires with vivid clarity. She sees her steps, her victories, her influence unfolding. The mind does not distinguish between the imagined and the real. It responds to intensity and conviction. By repeatedly focusing on the reality she intends to create, she begins to bring it into form, step by deliberate step. Mindset mastery also means understanding cycles, cycles of energy, cycles of emotion, cycles of thought. To react impulsively, to be swept by every storm, is to relinquish sovereignty. To respond with intention, to pause, to choose, is to expand power exponentially. Your mind becomes your throne, and on it you sit with unwavering authority. And here lies the subtle truth. Once your mind is mastered, every decision becomes effortless, every interaction precise, every goal inevitable. Yet this mastery is not static. It deepens over time, revealing layers of insight, wisdom, and subtlety that expand the boundaries of your influence. As your mindset aligns with your worth, as your thoughts resonate with integrity, the next phase emerges naturally. Presence, respect, and clarity converge into vision. A vision that does not merely react to life, but commands it. And the energy that flows from this alignment has the power to create, to attract, to manifest, and to transform. From owning your worth to commanding respect, to mastering your mindset, the foundation is laid. But there is a next step, a threshold beyond this mastery. A space where your power begins to ripple outward, where your influence begins to shape the world itself, where the throne you occupy becomes undeniable. And that is where the journey moves next. 4. Set boundaries. Pause. Take a deep breath and feel the invisible lines that exist around you, the silent edges that define your energy, your focus, your life. Boundaries. They are not walls meant to isolate or punish. They are sacred lines that honor your existence, your time, and your energy. A queen understands this instinctively. She knows that to lead, to thrive, to create, she must first protect the space where her power resides. Setting boundaries is an act of courage. It is the courage to say no when every fiber of your being is conditioned to say yes. It is the courage to prioritize yourself without guilt, to honor your needs without apology. Many fear boundaries because they confuse them with selfishness. Yet the truth is that without boundaries, chaos reigns and the crown you carry begins to weigh heavily. Every boundary you set is a declaration of self-respect. It is a quiet but unshakable statement. I will not allow my energy to be stolen. I will not allow my vision to be derailed. I will not compromise my essence for the comfort of others. And when you establish these sacred lines, the world begins to recognize them. People will test them, challenge them, even resist them. But a queen does not waver. She reinforces, she stands safe. She teaches by her consistency. Boundaries are not just external, they are internal. The way you speak to yourself, the way you allow thoughts to enter your mind, the way you treat your body and spirit, all of these are territories that must be guarded. A queen does not permit negative self-talk, toxic habits, or limiting beliefs to breach her domain. Her inner realm is as sacred as the world she inhabits. And here is the subtlety. Boundaries are not static. They are fluid, responsive, intelligent. They shift with circumstances, yet never lose their core. A queen navigates this with grace, knowing when to expand, when to contract, when to engage, when to withdraw. Every action becomes a reflection of her sovereignty. The energy of boundaries does more than protect, it empowers. When your lines are clear, your focus sharpens, your decisions become precise, your life begins to flow with purpose rather than distraction. You no longer scatter your essence to please others or to chase approval. Instead, you move deliberately, guided by the rhythm of your own inner authority. And as you anchor this practice deeply, a new understanding emerges. Protection is also liberation. By holding your space, you free yourself to fully inhabit your power, to step into your vision without hesitation, to create without compromise. And in this space, where your energy is guarded and your mind is aligned, the next force of transformation begins to rise. The force of intention, of purpose, of meaningful action. The Queen's journey does not end at protection. The boundaries she sets create a fertile ground for something greater, the clarity and focus to lead with purpose. 5. Lead with purpose. Purpose is the compass that guides every step a queen takes. It is the unseen force that propels her through challenges, doubts, and distractions. Without purpose, life drifts, influence diminishes, and the energy scatters. A queen understands that purpose is not merely a goal. It is the alignment of her heart, mind, and spirit with the highest expression of her being. To lead with purpose, first become still. Listen. What calls to you most deeply? What ignites your soul, awakens your mind, and stirs your courage? Purpose is not found in imitation, in the chase for approval, or in the noise of the world. It is discovered in reflection, in the quiet spaces between thought and feeling, in the sacred knowledge of what you were born to do. Purpose also demands courage. To lead with intention is to walk paths that others may not understand, to make choices that defy convention, to carry visions that seem impossible. The Queen does not shrink when faced with opposition. She steps forward with clarity and conviction, knowing that her alignment with purpose is more powerful than any external judgment, and there is power in consistency. Purpose is not a fleeting inspiration, it is a daily commitment. Every action, every word, every thought must resonate with the vision she holds. She does not allow distraction, doubt, or convenience to pull her from the path she has claimed. Each decision becomes a reflection of her mission, each interaction a reinforcement of her influence. Leading with purpose also requires presence. You cannot inspire or guide if your energy is fragmented. A queen inhabits her mission fully, deeply, completely. Her mind is focused, her heart engaged, her spirit unwavering. This total embodiment of purpose attracts followers, collaborators, and opportunities, not because she demands them, but because her clarity and conviction are magnetic. And yet, purpose is also a journey of evolution. It grows as you grow. It deepens as your awareness expands. What felt like purpose yesterday may transform into a higher expression of vision tomorrow. A queen remains flexible, adaptive, and attentive to the subtle whispers of intuition that guide her toward ever greater alignment. There is a secret here. When purpose is fully embraced, influence flows naturally. People follow not because of status or command, but because of resonance. A queen's purpose is visible, tangible, and compelling. And once you experience this force within yourself, you realize that obstacles are no longer barriers. They are invitations to refine, to deepen, to rise higher. Yet purpose alone is not enough. The path is never linear, and challenges will inevitably appear. Fear, doubt, and adversity are the shadows that test the strength of your mission. But in these moments, there is a truth that only the disciplined heart knows. Fear is not an enemy. It is a teacher, a signal that you are approaching growth, that your vision is expanding, that your power is ready to ascend. Leading with purpose flows naturally into the next mastery. The alchemy of transforming resistance into momentum, of using fear not as a stop sign, but as fuel to propel you forward. 6. Embrace fear as fuel. Fear. It is a companion that walks with every human being, whispering doubts, magnifying risks, and attempting to cage your potential. And yet, the queen does not flee from fear. She does not deny it. She transforms it. She uses it as the most powerful catalyst for growth, strength, and self-mastery. Fear is not weakness. It is information. It signals where your comfort ends and where expansion begins. Every time you feel fear, it points directly to the areas where your power awaits. To resist fear is to resist evolution. To embrace it is to ignite transformation. The practice begins with acknowledgement. Look your fear in the eye, name it, feel its pulse. Do not shrink, do not argue, do not run. By recognizing fear, you take the first step toward mastery. Then comes the alchemy, transform its energy into courage, focus, and action. Fear becomes fuel when your vision is stronger than the whisper that attempts to hold you back. A queen walks into fear with deliberate steps. She uses it as a mirror, reflecting her own hidden doubts and unspoken potential. Each challenge, each uncertainty, each hesitation becomes a teacher. Fear reveals the edges of your comfort zone, highlighting exactly where growth is waiting. And there is a rhythm to this process. Pause, breathe, step, reflect, act. Fear does not vanish instantly. It becomes an ally in a dance of transformation. The more you engage it consciously, the more power you extract from it. You discover reservoirs of resilience, clarity, and determination that you never knew existed. Fear also sharpens focus. When channeled correctly, it intensifies your attention, your preparation, your execution. It forces you to evaluate, strategize, and respond with precision. A queen's power is amplified not in the absence of fear, but in the mastery of its energy. And here is the profound truth. The moment you transform fear into fuel, every obstacle becomes an opportunity. Every doubt becomes a challenge to your courage, and every hesitation becomes a springboard for elevation. You step into a space where nothing outside can shake your resolve, because your power is anchored internally, forged through the fires of conscious transformation. The mastery of fear leads to a new horizon, where challenges are not avoided, where risks are embraced, and where the energy you create transforms not only your life, but the lives of those who witness your sovereignty. And from this mastery emerges the next principle of a queen's unshakable presence: grace under pressure, the ability to remain poised, calm, and infinitely powerful when the storm rages around you. 7. Practice grace under pressure. Take a breath, let your chest rise and fall slowly. Imagine the weight of the world pressing down, opinions clashing, expectations colliding. Chaos surrounds you. Yet within, there is a quiet center, an unshakable calm that no storm can penetrate. This is grace under pressure. It is the hallmark of a queen, the invisible strength that transforms adversity into artistry, conflict into clarity, and fear into fluidity. Grace under pressure begins with presence. When everything screams for reaction, the queen pauses. She does not move out of impulse or fear. Her energy remains steady, her mind clear, her heart unshaken. In these moments, people will test her, challenge her, provoke her, but she remains rooted in her sovereignty. Every pause, every measured breath is a declaration of control, a subtle yet undeniable command. I am centered. I am whole. I am unbroken. Pressure is a test of character. It reveals the cracks in ego, exposes hidden fears, and forces choices that define destiny. To act with grace is not to deny difficulty, it is to meet it fully, with composure and wisdom. A queen understands that how she responds under strain is far more important than the nature of the challenge itself. Her energy radiates a quiet power that demands respect, admiration, and sometimes fear. There is a rhythm here, a sacred cadence. Observe, breathe, respond, move. Let the energy flow through your body, not against it. Let the tension sculpt your clarity, refine your intentions, sharpen your focus. Pressure becomes the teacher, and grace is the lesson. Each challenge becomes a stage upon which your elegance, discipline, and power are displayed. Grace under pressure also requires detachment. not coldness, not indifference, but a conscious separation from outcomes that are not yet yours to control. The Queen trusts in her preparation, her insight, and her timing. She understands that energy wasted on panic or regret diminish as her power. She conserves it, channels it, and releases it with precision. And here is the subtle mastery. Grace under pressure is contagious. Those around her begin to mirror her calm, to align their energy with hers, to move from chaos to coherence. She does not command it verbally, she embodies it. Presence becomes a magnet, influence a natural consequence. Yet grace alone is not the summit of power. It is a conduit, a bridge to a higher expression. When composure is mastered, confidence naturally emerges. Confidence that is quiet, unshakable, magnetic. Confidence that radiates from every fiber of being, drawing opportunities, allies, and victories toward her with a silent, irresistible force. And this quiet strength leads to the next essential mastery, the energy that transforms presence into influence, the embodiment of unshakable confidence. 8. Radiate confidence. Confidence, not arrogance, not boastfulness, not the loud insistence of ego-seeking approval. True confidence is quiet. It is the internal knowing that you are capable, deserving, and prepared. It is the energy that fills a room without words, that shifts dynamics without effort, that commands attention because it is authentic, unshakable, and magnetic. To radiate confidence, begin with self-awareness. Understand your strengths, acknowledge your skills, embrace your achievements, and accept your limitations without shame. A queen does not conceal her power, nor does she overcompensate for perceived weaknesses. She inhabits her totality fully, and in doing so, her energy becomes irresistible. Confidence is anchored in preparation. When knowledge, skill, and discipline align, fear cannot shake you. The queen moves with precision, clarity, and purpose because she has done the work, cultivated mastery, and refined her instincts. Every step, every word, every gesture resonates with authority and certain. Thank you. There is a rhythm to radiating confidence. It flows from stillness into action, from quiet assurance to decisive movement, from inner alignment to outward impact. It is not forceful, it is fluid. Those who encounter it feel it immediately, not because it is shouted or displayed, but because it is felt. It is energy manifest. Confidence also requires integrity. Words, actions, and intentions must align. A queen's influence cannot grow on a foundation of contradiction or deceit. When what she projects matches who she truly is, her power multiplies exponentially. People instinctively follow authenticity. And nothing is more magnetic than a leader whose inner and outer worlds resonate perfectly. Yet radiating confidence is not about eliminating doubt. It is about transcending it. Doubt may arise as it always does, but it does not define her choices. It becomes a tool for reflection, a signal to refine, not retreat. Each challenge met with calm certainty deepens her presence, strengthens her aura, and solidifies her influence. The queen's confidence is not conditional on approval. It is not fragile or fleeting. It is an internal force anchored in self-awareness, mastery, and purpose. And as this energy radiates outward, it naturally draws respect, admiration, and collaboration. People are compelled by confidence because it signals competence, clarity, and stability. And here lies the subtle transformation. Confidence alone is powerful, but when paired with action, it becomes mastery. Confidence without wisdom risks arrogance. Confidence with insight becomes unshakable authority. The next layer of mastery emerges when preparation, skill, and inner alignment converge, investing in self-mastery, the ultimate foundation of influence and sovereignty. 9. Invest in self-mastery. Self-mastery, the silent pursuit of excellence, the daily devotion to cultivating mind, body, and spirit. It is the path upon which the Queen transforms potential into power, intention into action, and vision into reality. Mastery is not a destination. It is a continuous journey, a rhythm, a practice that shapes every choice, every interaction, every breath. To invest in self-mastery is to understand that time is the most precious currency. Each moment spent cultivating skill, expanding knowledge, and refining character compounds into exponential power. A queen measures life not in distractions or indulgences, but in deliberate, conscious growth. Every book read, every lesson absorbed, every challenge confronted becomes an investment in the throne she is building within herself. Self-mastery begins with observation. Watch yourself, your thoughts, your habits, your responses. See where energy is wasted, where patterns limit growth, where unconscious behaviors dictate outcomes. Awareness alone illuminates the path to transformation. A queen does not excuse weakness, she acknowledges it and refines it. Discipline is the backbone of mastery. It is the willingness to do what others avoid, to endure discomfort, to remain committed when motivation wanes. The queen trains her mind, her body, her emotions, her spirit with precision and consistency. She understands that talent without discipline is fragile, vision without effort is hollow, and potential without action is wasted. There is also a dimension of reflection. Mastery is not only about doing, it is about understanding. Taking the time to process experiences, to learn from missteps, to refine strategies, to deepen insight. Reflection transforms experience into wisdom, and wisdom fuels influence. The queen walks not blindly, she walks with eyes wide open, heart engaged, and mind alert. Investing in self-mastery also means embracing discomfort. Growth resides at the edges of fear, challenge, and resistance. A queen steps deliberately into discomfort, knowing it is the forge of resilience, creativity, and unparalleled capability. Each moment of struggle is an opportunity to sharpen skill, strengthen character, and expand vision. And there is a subtle yet profound truth. Self-mastery is contagious. The energy of discipline, wisdom, and alignment radiates outward. Those who encounter it are inspired, challenged, and elevated. Influence flows naturally, not because it is demanded, but because it is earned and embodied. Through mastery, the queen transforms every aspect of her being into a vessel of power, presence, and purpose. She becomes unshakable, magnetic, and precise. The foundation she builds within herself ensures that no external circumstance, opinion, or obstacle can divert her trajectory. Her energy becomes a force that shapes reality, manifests vision, and commands destiny. And as self-mastery deepens, it naturally prepares her for the next level of sovereignty, the cultivation of inner peace, the anchor of all power, clarity, and influence. The journey continues, but each step taken in discipline, wisdom, and self-alignment ensures that the throne she claims is unassailable, radiant, and eternal. 10. Prioritize inner peace. Breathe. Let the world fall away for a moment. Feel the quiet inside you, the stillness beneath the chatter of thoughts, the calm that waits like a hidden river beneath turbulent waves. Inner peace is not escape, it is sovereignty. It is the foundation upon which all power, influence, and wisdom rest. A queen does not allow chaos outside to dictate chaos inside. She cultivates a sanctuary within, a space where clarity, strength, and discernment reside. To prioritize inner peace is to take responsibility for your own energy. The world will always attempt to pull you into storms, opinions, conflicts, distractions, expectations. But a queen does not surrender equilibrium. She chooses where to place her attention, where to invest her energy, and where to withhold it. She understands that nothing external can disturb the calm of one who is fully anchored in her truth. Meditation, reflection, and stillness become tools, not indulgences. Every breath, every pause, every mindful step strengthens the fortress of the mind. This is not about isolation, it is about alignment. Inner peace allows decision-making to be precise, action to be effective, and influence to be natural. A queen moves through the world not as a victim of circumstance, but as a force guided by calm authority. Peace also breeds resilience. When storms rage, those without inner stability crumble. But the queen remains steady, grounded in a deep, unshakable, knowing that the chaos outside cannot reach the stillness within. Stress, conflict, and adversity may attempt to intrude, but her energy is sovereign, her focus unwavering, her vision untouched. And here lies the subtle power. Inner peace magnifies presence. People feel it immediately. It is magnetic. It commands attention without demanding it. It radiates clarity, strength, and trustworthiness. A queen's influence grows not because she asserts dominance, but because her calm authority attracts respect, loyalty, and alignment. Inner peace, however, is not passive. It is a deliberate practice, a conscious choice, a daily commitment. The moment you prioritize it, you set the stage for exponential growth in every area of life, relationships, decisions, actions, and ambitions. And within this sanctuary of calm, the next layer emerges naturally. The ability to celebrate victories, both grand and subtle, with the fullness of awareness and gratitude. 11. Celebrate your wins. Pause. Reflect on the last victory you experienced. Was it large, small, public, private? Did you allow yourself to fully acknowledge it, or did you rush past it, chasing the next goal, the next milestone, the next expectation? A queen understands that every victory, no matter how seemingly minor, is a recognition of growth, courage, and effort. Celebrating wins is not vanity, it is wisdom. Each victory is a marker on the path of self-mastery. It signals progress, reinforces habits, and strengthens confidence. By pausing to honor success, you amplify the energy that created it, creating momentum for even greater accomplishments. A queen does not minimize her achievements. She illuminates them, internalizes them, and uses their power as fuel for the next challenge. Celebration is also an act of acknowledgement. Life is not only about struggles and goals, it is about presence, awareness, and gratitude. Recognizing your wins, internal or external, connects you to the energy that flows through effort, discipline, and persistence. Each recognition is a thread in the tapestry of your sovereignty. And there is strategy here. When you celebrate deliberately, you strengthen your neural pathways for success. Your mind becomes attuned to growth, accomplishment, and victory. Confidence is reinforced. Resilience is nurtured. Energy aligns naturally with purpose and potential. Yet celebration is not arrogance. It is humility in action. It is the quiet acknowledgement that every step forward was made possible by discipline, focus, and alignment with higher principles. A queen celebrates without comparing, without competing, without diminishing the achievements of others. She honors her own progress while remaining aware of the infinite potential that still awaits. This practice of acknowledgement and celebration creates a feedback loop of empowerment. Every recognition of success generates confidence, clarity, and energy. Every victory, when honored, becomes a foundation for the next step. And in this cycle, resilience is born, creating the inner fortitude necessary to transform setbacks into strength. And speaking of setbacks, there is a hidden truth. The ability to transform failure is the measure of ultimate power. The Queen's wins are not only external, they are lessons, refinements, and catalysts. Every challenge encountered, every obstacle overcome, contributes to the next level of mastery. And this leads naturally into the next essential principle: learning to transform setbacks into strength, turning every obstacle into a stepping stone for evolution. 12. Transform setbacks into strength. Feel the weight of your past challenges. The moments when life resisted, when doors closed, when plans crumbled. Setbacks. For most, they are burdens, sources of doubt and despair. But for a queen, they are teachers, guides, and catalysts. Every obstacle, every failure, every disappointment carries within it the seed of transformation. The question is, will you nurture it or let it wither? Transformation begins with perspective. Understand that setbacks are not indictments of your ability, nor punishments from life. They are opportunities. They illuminate weaknesses, expose limitations, and demand introspection. A queen does not curse obstacles, she studies them. She asks, what lesson lies hidden here? What strength can be cultivated? What wisdom can be extracted? This process requires resilience and patience. Transformation is not immediate. It is slow, deliberate, and intentional. A queen does not rush the refinement of character, skill, or insight. Each challenge is met, each mistake acknowledged, each limitation confronted. Through this practice, the energy that once seemed lost is reclaimed, refined, and amplified. Setbacks also reveal creativity. When one path closes, the mind must find another. Innovation emerges, strategy deepens, resourcefulness awakens. The queen's mind becomes fluid, adaptive, and precise, able to navigate complexity. Without fear, without hesitation, without compromise, there is a sacred rhythm here. Feel, reflect, extract, apply. Each setback becomes a stepping stone. Each struggle becomes a lesson. Each failure becomes a foundation. The queen transforms adversity into a tool for empowerment, converting limitation into opportunity, fear into fuel, doubt into clarity. And there is a hidden elegance in this mastery. Setbacks, once transformed, no longer carry weight. They become part of a tapestry of power, strength, and experience. Every trial faced with courage and reflection contributes to sovereignty. Every challenge overcome increases confidence, sharpens focus, and strengthens the mind. Through the alchemy of transformation, life itself becomes a teacher. Challenges become catalysts, and the queen rises with each obstacle she faces. Strength is no longer accidental. It is intentional, cultivated, and unwavering. And in this cultivated strength lies the gateway to the next expression of mastery, commanding your time, focusing energy, and shaping every moment to align with the throne you are building. 13. Command your time. Pause, close your eyes for a moment, and feel the rhythm of your life. Each tick of the clock, each breath, each heartbeat. These are the raw materials of your existence. Time is the one resource that cannot be replenished. Once it passes, it is gone. A queen understands this truth instinctively. She does not squander her moments in distraction, triviality, or the pursuit of approval. She commands her time as she would command her throne, with focus, precision, and sovereignty. Commanding your time begins with awareness. Observe how your hours are spent. Notice where energy leaks, where attention drifts, where you allow obligations to override intention. The queen does not live passively, allowing circumstances to dictate her rhythm. She actively shapes each moment, aligning it with her purpose, her vision, and her values. There is a subtle discipline here. Time must be defended with the same vigilance that protects boundaries. Saying no becomes a sacred act, not of denial, but of prioritization. To command your time is to choose what deserves your presence, your energy, your focus, and to release what drains, distracts, or diminishes you. Every decision about your attention is an investment in your sovereignty. Commanding time also requires foresight. The queen sees beyond immediate gratification, beyond fleeting demands. She envisions the trajectory of her days, weeks, months, and years. Each action is mapped to a greater intention, a higher goal, a more expansive vision. She understands that time, when aligned with purpose, multiplies impact, influence, and mastery. Yet commanding time is not merely about productivity. It is about presence. It is about being fully engaged in the moment, whether in action, reflection, or rest. Every second carries the potential for creation, insight, or connection. A queen inhabits time fully, with awareness and intentionality, refusing to allow moments to slip unnoticed or unappreciated. And here lies the hidden power. When you command your time, you reclaim sovereignty over your life. You no longer drift, no longer react, no longer surrender to the pace of the world. Instead, you shape it, direct it, and inhabit it with authority. People notice. Energy aligns. Opportunities appear, and focus becomes your invisible weapon, your silent strength, your defining edge. But commanding time alone is not enough. Time is the vessel, but action is the energy. To wield time effectively, you must also master the art of precision in speech, the ability to speak less, yet impact profoundly. Words, like time, are finite. Their alignment with intention transforms Arme's influence into force, and this is where the next principle emerges. 14. Speak less, impact more. Words, they are powerful. They carry energy, intention, and consequence. Most speak thoughtlessly, scattering energy, diluting meaning, and inviting chaos. But the queen understands a profound truth. The fewer the words, the greater the impact. Precision, clarity, and intention transform speech into an instrument of authority, influence, and magnetism. Speaking less begins with listening. Silence is not emptiness, it is presence, it is observation, it is absorption of context, nuance, and intention. The queen does not rush to fill gaps with noise. She allows the space to speak, to reveal, to teach. Her words emerge not from reaction, but from awareness, distilled through the lens of insight and discernment. Clarity is the second element. Words must align with intention. Each sentence, each pause, each tone carries weight. The queen chooses words with precision, knowing that language shapes perception, reality, and energy. Ambiguity weakens authority. Alignment strengthens influence. Every word must serve purpose, vision, and resonance. Speaking less also requires confidence. To be silent in moments when others rush to dominate demonstrates sovereignty. To allow others to speak, then respond with measured insight, signals mastery. The queen does not compete for attention. She commands it naturally because her energy communicates power that words alone cannot. There is also strategy in silence. The pauses between words amplify meaning, creating resonance that lingers long after sound dissipates. Impact is not measured by volume but by depth. A single, intentional statement can influence, inspire, and shift trajectories more than a torrent of speech ever could. And yet, impact is not merely about words, it is about alignment. When speech reflects integrity, knowledge, and intention, it becomes magnetic. People listen not because they fear, admire, or obey, but because they sense authenticity and authority. Speaking less, therefore, is not withholding. It is distilling essence into energy, presence into power. The queen's voice is calibrated, precise, and deliberate. She understands that influence is multiplied when words are few but fully charged with intention, confidence, and wisdom. Her speech becomes a force that shapes thought, inspires action, and commands respect without effort or arrogance. And here lies the seamless truth. Words, like actions, create momentum. Precision in speech strengthens influence, just as command over time strengthens presence. Together, they create the infrastructure for mastery, sovereignty, and transformation. The next step in this journey flows naturally from influence into presence, standing tall in silence, the embodiment of unspoken power that resonates deeper than any word ever could.
50. Stand tall in silence.
Breathe deeply. Feel the weight of your presence, the quiet resonance of your body, the subtle vibration of your energy. Silence. It is not emptiness, it is sovereignty. To stand tall in silence is to wield power without words, influence without exertion, authority without demand. A queen understands that presence alone can command attention, shift dynamics, and create impact far beyond what speech can achieve. Standing tall begins with awareness of the body, the alignment of posture, the flow of breath, the subtle grounding of feet into the earth. All communicate power. Even in stillness, every gesture, every stance, every pause carries meaning. Energy radiates from presence, not noise. People feel it, sense it, respond to it before a word is spoken. Silence also cultivates patience. The world is filled with noise, distraction, and constant demands for reaction. A queen does not respond impulsively. She observes. She measures. She allows moments to unfold, letting clarity emerge from stillness. Her silence is not hesitation, it is deliberation, calculation, and refined strategy. There is a rhythm to standing tall in silence. Pause, observe, anchor, exhale. Each moment spent in presence strengthens the aura, fortifies influence, and deepens connection with self. People may rush, argue, or attempt to provoke, but the queen's quiet authority remains unshakable. She becomes a center around which energy flows naturally, magnetically, inevitably. And here lies the subtle mastery. Silence amplifies meaning. Words, gestures, even actions, when introduced after deliberate stillness, carry exponentially more weight. The queen's influence does not need validation. It is seen, felt, and acknowledged in the energy that radiates without demand. Presence alone becomes a language more profound than any word, more persuasive than any speech, more commanding than any display. Yet silence is also a mirror. It reflects the world, exposes motives, and reveals truths that would otherwise remain hidden. The queen learns from observation, discerns patterns, and understands not only her own energy, but the energy of those around her. In silence, wisdom accumulates, clarity crystallizes, and strategy emerges naturally. And as presence matures in silence, confidence becomes inseparable from authority. The ability to stand tall, composed, and unshaken, even when provoked or challenged, prepares the queen for the next level of authenticity, the power of being unapologetically herself, embracing her full essence without compromise, without fear, without hesitation. 16. Be unapologetically you. Take a moment to sense yourself fully. Every nuance, every shadow, every light. Authenticity is not a choice, it is an alignment with the deepest truth of your being. To be unapologetically you is to embody sovereignty in its purest form. The queen does not hide, she does not dilute, she does not apologize for the intensity, depth, or brilliance of her essence. Being unapologetically yourself begins with self-recognition. To acknowledge your strengths, your quirks, your passions, your convictions, without shame or hesitation, is an act of courage. Society may demand conformity, expectations may whisper limitation, but the queen listens to the pulse of her own spirit and allows it to lead. Authenticity also requires liberation from fear, fear of judgment, of rejection, of loss. These are chains that bind potential, suppress influence, and distort purpose. The queen breaks them by aligning her actions with her truth. She speaks, moves, creates, and leads from a place of alignment, not approval. Every choice reflects sovereignty, not submission. And here is the subtle power. When you are unapologetically yourself, energy aligns. Opportunities relationships, and experiences that resonate with your essence naturally flow toward you. Those that do not are repelled. Authenticity becomes a filter, a magnet, a declaration of power that requires no explanation, no justification, no apology. There is also a rhythm to authenticity. It is not a performance, not an imitation, not a mask to please others. It is the consistent, deliberate embodiment of your essence in every thought, action, and interaction. A queen's presence is magnetic precisely because it is unfiltered, complete, and sovereign. Her power emanates from alignment, not pretense. Being unapologetically, you also cultivate resilience. When challenges arise, when criticism emerges, when the world resists your truth, the queen does not falter. Her strength is anchored in self-knowledge. Her decisions are guided by clarity, and her energy remains unshakable. She does not bend to fit others' expectations. She commands her own narrative. And here is the subtle alchemy. Authenticity amplifies influence. When your essence is fully expressed, when your presence, speech, and actions resonate with truth, respect follows naturally. Confidence deepens. Impact multiplies. The energy of sovereignty becomes undeniable, magnetic, and eternal. From standing tall in silence to being unapologetically you, the journey moves seamlessly into the next horizon. The queen's power is not only internal, it is expansive. It reaches beyond self into the lives of others, lifting, inspiring, and transforming through the subtle yet unstoppable force of empowerment. 17. Empower others. Pause. Feel the invisible energy that radiates from you. Every thought, every action, every word carries resonance, influence, and potential. Empowerment is the art of sharing that force intentionally, consciously, and wisely. A queen does not hoard her strength. She recognizes that her true power multiplies when it uplifts, inspires, and activates the potential of those around her. Empowering others begins with awareness. To see beyond the surface, to recognize potential where others may overlook it, requires presence, insight, and understanding. A queen perceives the hidden strengths in those she encounters. She does not seek to dominate or control. She seeks to awaken, to illuminate, to guide. Empowerment also requires courage. To lift others is to risk vulnerability, to share knowledge, to invest energy without immediate return. Yet the queen knows that influence is not measured by accumulation, but by expansion. When she elevates others, she creates a network of aligned energy, collaboration, and impact that reverberates far beyond what one person alone can achieve. There is a rhythm to empowerment. First, recognition, see the seed of possibility. Then, nurture, provide guidance, encouragement, and resources. Next, release, allow independence, choice, and growth. Empowerment is not control, it is facilitation. It is the conscious creation of conditions in which others can thrive while maintaining the integrity of your own power. And here lies the subtle mastery. Empowering others does not diminish your influence, it enhances it. People naturally align with leaders who elevate, inspire, and believe in them. A queen's energy becomes magnetic, expansive, and regenerative. Her authority is not enforced, it is drawn by the resonance of the empowerment she cultivates. Yet empowerment demands discernment. Not everyone is ready to receive guidance, and not every effort bears fruit. The queen observes, discerns, and acts with intention. She invests her energy wisely, knowing that alignment multiplies results, while misalignment depletes force. Influence is expanded not by scattering energy, but by concentrating it where it will resonate most deeply. And empowerment is also transformative for the self. Each act of lifting another strengthens patience, humility, and insight. It sharpens judgment, expands perspective, and deepens the understanding of interconnectedness. The Queen realizes that true power is not isolated. It flows through networks, relationships, and the lives she touches. From this awareness emerges a higher principle, the ability to align action, presence, and vision toward the creation of lasting impact. The Queen's journey is not solitary, it is interconnected, and the culmination of this mastery leads naturally to the final key of sovereignty, living fully in alignment with vision, where every thought, word, and action becomes a reflection of the throne you have claimed. 18. Live in alignment with your vision. Close your eyes. Feel the thread of your purpose weaving through every decision, every intention, every heartbeat. Vision is not a distant goal, it is a living energy, an axis around which your life rotates. To live in alignment with your vision is to inhabit your sovereignty fully, to allow every moment to be a reflection of your highest potential. Living in alignment begins with clarity. The Queen knows what she desires, why she desires it, and how it integrates with her essence. Every choice, every action, every response is measured against this internal compass. Misalignment, distraction, or compromise is noticed immediately and corrected with quiet authority. There is discipline in alignment. Vision is not maintained passively. It is cultivated, protected, and pursued with relentless focus. A queen organizes her environment, her routines, her priorities, and her energy around her highest expression. Time, attention, and effort are allocated not randomly, but strategically, ensuring that each step advances her purpose and reflects her sovereignty. Alignment also requires authenticity. Vision cannot be imposed from outside, it emerges from the depth of the self. The Queen engages with life in a way that resonates with her truth, not the expectations of others. Her actions flow naturally, powerfully, and effortlessly because they are rooted in congruence. When inner truth meets outer action, influence becomes inevitable. And here lies the subtle magic. Alignment amplifies energy. Every task completed, every interaction, every initiative undertaken in harmony with vision resonates with greater force. Resistance becomes manageable. Obstacles transform into opportunities, and momentum builds in a natural, unstoppable flow. A queen does not fight the river of life. She flows with it, directing its current toward the realization of her destiny. Living in alignment also cultivates clarity of judgment. When vision guides action, choices are no longer confusing, conflicting, or scattered. The Queen moves decisively, confidently, and deliberately. Her life becomes a reflection of intention, her presence a manifestation of purpose, her influence a living testament to the alignment of mind, heart, and spirit. There is also resilience in alignment. Challenges will arise, doubts will appear, external pressures will attempt to derail the course, but a queen anchored in vision does not falter. She adapts without compromising her essence, navigates turbulence without losing direction, and maintains momentum because the energy of her vision is stronger than the force of any resistance. And ultimately, to live in alignment with your vision is to claim sovereignty fully. It is to embody every keynote, worth, respect, mindset, boundaries, purpose, fear, grace, confidence, mastery, peace, celebration, transformation, time, words, presence, authenticity, empowerment, all converging into a single radiant stream of influence, power, and fulfillment. Every step, every action, every breath becomes a manifestation of the Queen within, a reflection of the throne that has always been hers to claim. This alignment is not optional, it is inevitable once mastery, presence, and authenticity are cultivated. The Queen does not merely survive, she thrives. She does not merely act, she commands. She does not merely exist, she embodies the infinite potential of her essence, living a life that is unapologetically sovereign, profoundly impactful, and eternally radiant. Take a deep breath. Feel the energy that has been awakened within you. Every word, every pause, every reflection has been a reminder of the power you already carry. You are not defined by circumstance, by doubt, or by the expectations of others. You are the embodiment of worth, resilience, and sovereignty. The journey of a queen is not about perfection. It is about presence. It is about aligning with your truth, commanding your life, mastering your mind, and transforming every challenge into fuel for growth. It is about walking with purpose, standing tall in silence, and radiating the confidence that comes from unwavering self-mastery. As you move forward, remember this: your worth is inherent, your vision is powerful, your voice is magnetic, and your presence is unshakable. Every choice you make, every boundary you uphold, every act of courage, love, and authenticity contributes to the throne you are building within yourself. The world will test you, doubt will whisper, fear will attempt to shake you. But you now know the rhythm. Breathe, pause, observe, act with intention, and remain anchored in your vision. This is your sovereignty. This is your power. This is the life that unfolds when you decide to fully claim who you are. Step into it, stand in it, live it. The crown is not given, it is claimed, and the life you create from this place of alignment, wisdom, and courage will not only transform your world, it will ripple outward, inspiring others, awakening potential, and shaping reality itself. Your throne awaits. Step forward and embody it fully.